So then, ladies and gentlemen, can you all hear me? Is everything all good?
It's all good.
Awesome. So, welcome to day one of Nations Cup. We're in Lobby B, which is hosted by Pyro this evening. I thought I'd pick this lobby because it'd be a bit more chaotic, and I think chaotic is a bit more of what people are after. So, we're just going to give it another minute or two to let people come in. We're going to let the lobby fill up. We're missing maybe a driver or two.
Evening, Gunman.
Evening. Let's just wait for this to fill up a little bit more. So, it's 8 o'clock. We'll get going through day one as we're waiting for Pyro to finish his lap, and then we'll probably get started with qualifying. So, day one of Nations Cup. Welcome. We are driving, as everyone can clearly see, as Pyro's drifting his way through this right-hand corner nicely and goes off wide. We are using the Ferrari 296 GTB, so one of the new Ferraris that came out in the previous update. Here at St. Croc's Layout A. Now, I have spent the past 20 minutes, half hour or so driving this car around this circuit just to get a little bit of a feel for it. You can't trail brake. I cannot stress this enough. You cannot trail brake this car through the corners. The rear just doesn't like it. It's almost like Ferrari have somehow reverse engineer a car and how to keep stable in the corners. That's kind of how it feels. So a lot of these drivers are going to have to play the game a lot differently tonight. So, I'm 99% sure I need to double check the rules. Something I should have asked a bit earlier. Yeah, he's about to get us started. So whilst we're waiting on the tyre rules to come back, I need to double check that. We're going to go through our lobby. So, representing England. We've not got much hope, let's put it that way. England hasn't got much hope. We got Pyro representing England this evening. There we go, okay. Where's my list? There it is. So, we have got Pyro representing England this evening. I don't hold out much hope, I'm not going to lie to you. We got Alessandro representing Italy. There's my next target. Where is he? We then got Rendit representing the Netherlands. Ooh. There we go. Canada is not here, unfortunately, this evening. Deco, beautiful timing to come onto Deco, as in always, is representing Scotland. Where's my next target? We then got Mo Gaffer representing the United States. Auto is representing Austria. And then Gooseback is representing Saudi Arabia. Where's CMP? Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's right beneath it. CMP is representing Ireland and Wales. Yeah, buddy. Where is he? There he is. Tommy or T-Bop, your Tier 4 champion, is representing Northern Ireland. Sorry, there's 3 names that I'm not familiar with. Let me... No. Let's try that.
Get it, Tommy.
That doesn't help me at all. Okay, there are then 3 drivers, which I'm trying to figure out who's who, which once I figure it out I can go through. But we have got IHL supporting Vulcans, sorry, which might actually be... Oh dear.
Insider info, Tommy has been practicing.
Oh, has he? Has he now? Okay, so... Tommy could be... it's a Roscos. So a Roscos has replaced LHA into Vulcans. There we go. The European Alliance is Stickboy, and then the rest of the world is Deck, once I find out which one they are. Okay, there we go. Carl is representing the European Alliance, and then... Where's my last one? It might be Shook. Shook is then representing the rest of the world. Now, whilst we're going through for our outlap...
South African is dead. In the wrong car.
No, they're all in the right cars, it's just the wrong colour. There we go. We're going to follow Pyro for a part of this lap. So, tyres. All 3 compounds must be used at least for 1 lap on tonight's race. So, we can see a varying different strategies. The experience I had in about the half hour or so that I've been driving this circuit with this track is that the mediums are surprisingly grippy. They are more grippy than you think. The hards feel like mediums, and the softs are too twitchy. That's the best way I can describe them. That dip's going to cause someone to crash. So, the tyres, I don't know. We can expect to see a lot of different things. As for lap times, I'm expecting some of the higher guys, the top guys, to sort of be in the 303s, 302s. I'm expecting some sort of like the medium sort of tiered guys or the mid-tier guys, as sort of normal Monday night ALR racing, to be in the 304s, 305s, I'm reckoning. So we will have to wait and see. Now these cars are very, very good when you get the power down. They are very, very quick. It's getting them stopped which is the problem, as you're probably going to see as we come into this section. The braking zones are super long, as Pyro has a little bit of a slide about as we come through the chicane section. As you can see, no one's trail braking through the corner. Well, certain pros, sorry, he's not trail braking through the corner, he's getting right off the brakes. As we come through the corner, he's just backing off enough just to give himself some space. Ooh, we have a spin. Orotkos has found himself in the wall on the penultimate corner. He's just driving backwards at the moment, waiting for everyone to squeeze on through. Deck has got himself a 1 second penalty, which he's going to serve, and found himself in the wall as well. So, let's follow CMP. Let's stay with CMP for this lap. Let's see where CMP will end up. So, what are people's predictions? Who do you reckon's going to win? And who do you reckon's going to have the biggest flop? I'm going to bring this back. I reckon it's going to be tight between CMP and Alcendro. I wouldn't put Eroticos out of the question either, nor will I put Pyro out of the question.
Italy, surely.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a fight between Italy and Ireland this evening for the win.
Is super quick.
Now, for my biggest flop, there's one. Oh. I reckon biggest flop is probably, I don't really want to say it, but I reckon Deco might struggle a little bit this evening. And I could probably even see Shock struggling a little bit this evening. Apparently Tommy's been practicing. But we will have to wait and see. Like I said, we're going to stay on board with CMP. We're going to come to the end of this lap. I don't think he's pushing all that hard at the moment. I could be wrong. It's become nice and smooth through the fast section at the back at the end of one of the first back straights as he gets a half-second time penalty for track limits. So whatever lap he was on, if he was on a hot lap, is gone. Oh, we have a spinner. Who's spun? I think it's Shock that's gone around again. So, let's stay with the front group. Pyro coming around the last corner in this 10-minute qualifying session. He's not going to bother finishing lap. He's going to come straight in. Tommy, on the other hand, he's going to finish the lap. He's got a lot better tyres than Pyro, excuse me. Tommy with a 304.6. See what CMP does. A 301.8, and he's had that half-second time penalty as well. Kyle comes over the line for a 303.7. Pyro comes out of the pits on his new soft. He's going to have to get a bit of a lick on. He's got to get around and do another lap. Gooseback does a 305.3. What can Mo do? Representing Team USA. Pendit had a huge slide going through the background. Right, we're going to go through the grid at the moment. We're going to wait for everyone to cross the line. So, provisional pole sits with CMP at the moment with a 301.8, nearly 2 seconds faster than the next car behind him, which is Kyle, who represents Europe. So it's going to be Ireland in first, Europe Alliance in second, Deco representing Scotland's in third, Tommy representing, hang on, I need to remember who's representing who. Looks like Ireland from the looks of his car. It's North Ireland, excuse me. That's not going to be confusing at all. So, Tommy representing North Ireland's in third, Gooseback is in fifth, Auto's in sixth, Eroticos is in seventh, so the grid's kind of spread out. Shook is in eighth. We then got Deck in ninth position. Bennett in 10th. We then got Mo, who had a bit of a horrible lap from the looks of things, in 11th. And two drivers still yet to set their times are Alessandro for Italy and Mo for England. Now, Pyro doesn't have that much battery. Nor does Alessandro's, to be honest. I think these guys, well, Alessandro's on a hot lap anyway. I think it'd be more important for Pyro to actually get a bit of a battery life going, so when he hits a lap, he has got plenty of charge. Oh no! Into the wall is Bendit. At the very, very fast corner at the end of the back straight as well. So let's stay on board with Alcindor. Let's see what lap time he can put in, as everyone else is either on their last lap or just coming on to their flying lap, I should say. Uses all the track and a little bit extra. What can he do? It's going to be a 303.3, so it's going to be CMP takes the lead at the moment. Let's see what Pyro does. It's not going to be quite as good. Now he's going to start his, excuse me, that was his out lap. Now he's going to start his flying lap with barely only battery. Now is Carl going to play ball, or is he going to get into the way a little bit? He's going to play ball, he's going to pull straight over, so we're going to stay with Pyro for this lap. We'll come through the grid in just a moment. It looks like Mo's not really going to improve much. He is going to improve, excuse me, straight up into 8th position at 307.3. So good lap from Mo there. Bendit's parked up in the pits. He's finished his qualifying session as well. I think it's just Pyro that's on his last lap, and it might be a last flying lap too. Now he's just ran out of battery. If you look down the bottom left, oh, that's what happens if you hit the brakes during the corner. The rear steps out. Pyro really struggling to tame the rear of this Ferrari through the middle section at the track at the moment. That's lost him a little bit of time. Just waiting to get the front just a bite. Goes over the bump, doesn't lose any time. Down the back straight. Now he has lost battery power too, so he's not going to be going as quick as other people down the back straight who had battery power. Into the one of the tight corners, one of the tight hairpins, one of the slowest corners of this circuit. Followed by the other corner, which is going to catch out a fair few drivers, I think, this evening. Out over to the bridge, into the final couple of corners. Feeds the power nicely, keeps the car all nice and settled. Carl's just behind him, he's slowly catching up. Carl might be on a quick lap. Carl's tyres are a lot more worse for wear, but he still has a little bit of battery. Pyro's sliding a little bit in the penultimate corner. Carl gets a very, very nice toe coming down this back straight. Picks up the throttle. Both of them pick up the throttle. Pyro scrapes the wall on the exit. What sort of time is Pyro going to set down on the board today? It's going to be straight into 7th for the 307.0, and Kyle not going to improve, unfortunately, with a 308.6 from Kyle. So CMP takes pole position by 1.1 seconds over Alcindor in second, and Kyle takes third. So these are your top three.
I hate this car.
You hate this car? I can imagine you hate this car. So, there we have it. The mid-pack's kind of close, actually. From 7th backwards, it's kind of a bit of a close fight. It's sort of 6th onwards that the gaps really start to show and open themselves up. 2nd, 3rd and 4th are very close together. Let me look on sort of the back part of the grid. The gaps open up a little bit more, but I still reckon there's a couple of drivers towards the back that if they play their cards right and play the strategy well, I think they could be in for a shot. And Spin, you were right, Tommy has been practicing. I think that championship's got into his head a little bit. So we are just waiting. We're just waiting for Pyro to get the lobby started and sorted. From there, we will get going. What tyre settings is it? Is it 2 times?
Wait, Nutrition Cup started. Was in the wrong car for practice. So he has adapted quickly and well.
Wait, Nutrition Cup? Yeah, this is the Nutrition Cup.
Stream?
I don't think there is. I think it's only me this evening, so I'm covering Lobby B.
This one gets the stream.
It's only me, unfortunately, this evening, I believe. I am covering Lobby B, which has got Pyro, Alcindro, Bendit, Deco, Mogaffer, Auto, Gooseback, CMP, T-Bop. We then got Deck, Oraticos, and Shook as well. And yes, Jack, this is the Nutrition Lobby. This isn't the Nations Cup.
Noodles Cup, anyone? Bolton Team D.
So, day one, let's get the show on the road then, shall we? We're just waiting on Pyro to get things into motion. So as a reminder, and for those who are new into the stream, every tyre compound has to be used on this car, so the hards, mediums and the softs, but only for 1 lap. So if you really particularly hate a tyre in this car, you can only use it for 1 lap. Let's have a quick look. The top 5 are all on different tyres. Tommy's the only one on the soft tyres at the moment. Apart from that, everyone else is on the hards or the mediums. So Tommy could look at getting a quick getaway, but in my testing, I've found that the mediums start just as well as the softs. And 5 lights, and away we go. Tommy gets an absolute monster start, all the way up into 3rd position already.
Like in one
Yeah, it probably will. CMP gets away nicely. Tommy gets an absolute monster start as we come into turn 1. Has a little bit of a bump with the back of Alcindro. Let's come back through the grid. Who's off on the wide? Deco's gone off wide. Oraticos and Bennett have had their own moments going further forward. Auto up the tries to go up the inside. Mo goes around the outside of Auto, so great move from Mo. Pyro's up into 5th. Tommy's trying to defend 4th from Kyle. Kyle on the mediums. Tommy's on the softs. Kyle gets a much better exit, much better drive, so through he goes. But further up ahead, Alcindro sticking with CMP. It's the mediums versus the hards. CMP holds the advantage at the moment. Tommy back up the inside of Kyle as they're now side by side coming into this right-hander, coming out of sector 2 into sector 3. Tommy sticks in 3rd position at the moment. I'm going to do my best to catch every action I can. There's a contact between Kyle and Tommy, excuse me. Tommy holds it nicely as they're completely sideways through the double left-hand corner. Let's come back a couple of cars. By playing it very safe and very sensible, not trying to chase down Pyro, who's in 5th position at the moment. Mode's made up a spot. Auto's in 7th. Gooseback's in 8th. Sniffs and nose up the inside of Auto. Auto on the outside. Gooseback on the inside. really making that car lean as we go around the long right-hander onto the back straight. Auto on the left, Goose back on the right. It's going to be Auto's advantage coming into this little section here. Gooseback brakes a little bit early. Auto holds the inside line but goes a little bit deep, loses the rear of the car. That might cost him a little bit of time. Auto, half-second penalty for cutting the course and the corner just previously, so this is going to give Gooseback the free position a bit further back as we're now 3 wide. We've got Shook on the left, Deck on the right, Deco in the middle. Deck fires it around the outside, just about gets the car to stop. Deco and Deke have a little bit of a coming together. Shook gets advantage of both for this. Through comes Erotikos gets 2 for 1, which is a very, very sweet deal if you ask me. So Erotikos up into P10. Deco not having the best opening lap that he was after. Bendit just having as bad of a lap down in P13 at the moment. But it's CMP who leads us coming into the final couple of corners. Now Centro's just behind him, not giving him much breath at all. Down the back hip, down the hill, down the back straight into the last corner of the circuit. Both of these drivers lose a little bit of rear grip as we come through the final corner. CMP doing a fantastic job on the hards. Alcendro's on the mediums. Alcendro's got a good run. He's going to be coming alongside. He's now backs out of it. He nearly was side by side with CMP. CMP shuts the door very firmly going into turn 1. Let's just check the rack of the grids. Tommy, may I just add, okay, he's on soft tyres, but he is keeping up. He's slowly closing that gap into the top 2 here. CMP gets a good exit out of the first couple of corners, opens up the gap a little bit. Let's just check through the rest of the pack. Shook slowly starting to close the gap into Auto. It's hards versus mediums, similar to the front, and it doesn't look like there's actually that much difference in pace between the hards and the mediums. Unless you're Shook or Auto that have power slide out the corner. Shook Auto had a monster tail slapper coming out of that right-hander onto this little mini straight, nearly goes into the back of Shook. As both of these two are completely sideways, Shook is power sliding and drifting his way around the corner, showing off with complete style, which I love. Losing a little bit of time though. Deco back into 10th position. Roshko's a bit further back, 6.5 seconds back. Bendit in 12th, and then we've got Deck in 13th, who's not had the great final couple of corners. Oh, he's already stopped, sorry. And cut the course, but let's go back up front. Alcendro and CMP still stuck together with glue between them. It's Ireland and Wales versus Italy at the moment. We got Tommy in 3rd, still sticking with them. We then got Kyle in 4th. Pyro running off the top 5. Mo's in 6th. Great start from Mo as well. Great opening couple of laps. Kept himself out of trouble. Goose back in 7th. Shook in 8th position. Oh dear. Let's have a little look. Well, something must have happened between these two. Can I go back at all? No, I can't go back. That's a shame. Let's go back forward, though, because I have missed it. Alcendro gets past CMP and takes the lead. I'm going to stick with these two, I think. I'm going to stop messing around with little witty comments as Alcendro goes a little bit wide, clips the wall on the final corner, so CMP retakes the lead. What can Alcendro do to respond? Now, strategy options. Strategy-wise, I have been hearing some people talking about maybe a 7 7 on the mediums, maybe sort of 6 on the hards, it depends, and maybe 4 on the soft, so it really depends on what tyre you want to spend a lot of time on. I think the medium tyres might be a bit more beneficial for everybody, as CMP uses all the track and a little bit extra. Tommy doing a fantastic job staying with these guys. Kyle was dropped back. Kyle's made a slight error in the previous few corners. That gap has opened up right up to over 2.5 seconds. Deco and also close together as we come through this middle section. Both of these drivers are on the hards. Let's go back to the front. As the weather is starting to turn a different shade. Can we expect rain here? I wonder. Is the weather going to rear its head? Is the weather going to start showing a different sort of strategy to this race? Sandro closes that gap right up, gets very, very... Oh, that's a shame. It would have been good to see some rain. Throw the grid around a bit. Sandro gets very, very close in the braking zone through both the hairpin style corner and just before the bridge as we're going to come over the bridge. That gap between CMP and Alessandro is slowly closing in. And we have a spinner. That's Bendit. Bendit's not having a fun time here tonight in these Ferraris. We're going to stay here just for a couple of corners more until this gap opens up. I'm usually not one for staying around too long with particular drivers, but I think this is going to be the most amount of action at the moment. CMP uses all the tracks, so does Alessandro. Alessandro uses a bit more, but he now has a slipstream coming down the back straight. No moves into the final corner. Let's check on P3. P3's got 1 second gap to P4. The gap to the P5 is opening up quite considerably as well. Alessandro gets a great run out of the final corner. He's now alongside CMP. CMP's on the left, Alessandro's on the right. Both brake about the same sort of time. Alessandro loses a little bit of rear grip, which then promotes CMP to lose a little bit of rear traction as well. So Alessandro goes through, takes P1, so it's Italy first, North Ireland second at the moment. We got lap 4 of 17. Still a long way to go here tonight. Kyle's really closed that gap into the back of Tommy. Tommy's had a massive snap of oversteer there, nearly goes off into the grass. His tyres are looking very much worse for wear. He's going to probably finish this lap and go on to a different compound, maybe the hards or the mediums. I think in his position it might be hards to a big stint in the hards and then finish off on a strong medium finish. Now that gap to Alessandro is slowly opening. It's almost outside slipstream range up at the front. CMP's done well to hold off Alessandro for 4 laps. It's going to be critical for CMP to get a good corner exit. He wants to stay in the slipstream and tow as much as possible. I think he's going to struggle a little bit. There goes the tow. Both of these drivers now are out of battery as well. Let's have a little look back through. Carl's on the left, Tommy's on the right. Tommy's not got a great exit is what he's after. Carl goes swinging straight through. So Carl's up into P3. It's taken him a few laps to get past, but he's now passed. Tommy's down into P4. Still a great start from Tommy. Paro's in a bit of a lonesome 5th at the moment. Mo's still in 6th. Gooseback's in the 7th. Shook is still in 8th. Not much from there has changed. Deco now up into 9th position. Auto is down into 10th. We then got
Noodles Cup anyone. Cobalt Canteen D. own battery will die, like in 1th rank.
I-
Brain here.
Okay. My comment section has decided to refresh itself. Dex in 12th. And then way further down, a driver who's not enjoying his evening at the moment is Bendit all the way down into 13th. Alessandro opening up that gap to 1.1, touching 1.2 seconds at the moment. So the medium tyres are starting to show a little bit more pace, but the hards could go on for a bit longer, as we're about halfway through our fuel tanks on these cars. Mo just starting to lose a little bit of time to Gooseback. CMP comes in. So CMP is going to be the first driver to come in. Does Tommy come in? No, Tommy's going to stay out. That is a strategy call I didn't think I'd see. So Tommy's going to stay out a little bit longer on these softs. Maybe he's not quite finished thrashing them around yet, as Gooseback gets a very good exit out of the final corner, up into P5. Mo drops down into 6th. Can Mo get the switchback that he's after? No, he can't. So Gooseback goes up. Shook in P7. Still doing a great job at the moment. Now CMP comes out in 10th. He's gone on to the mediums. So he's done 4 laps on the hards. He's going to go and do a load of laps on these medium tyres. He's gone up pretty much up to a full tank. Then he's going to finish off on the softs. He's just behind Auto at the moment. Also on 5 lap old hards. CMP is the only driver at the moment who has pitted, to my knowledge. CMP just losing a little bit of time here to Auto. Auto struggling to get that car to stop and to rotate at the moment. He keeps losing the rear of the car under traction. Still losing the rear of the car under traction, as we're now CMP's completely alongside. Auto holds the inside line. CMP's going to get that switchback. Apply the power much sooner. He's going to hold the inside line. Give Auto a bit of a squeeze. Auto's not done though. He's going to try and drive it around the outside. Can't quite compete with a fresh set of tyres going up the inside of him. So through goes CMP up into 9th position. Dispatched Auto relatively quickly. We're going to go forward a couple of cars. Shook is having a big tank slapper coming into the very quick left-right section before the bridge. Going a bit further forward, Gooseback has dropped behind Mo. Mo's managed to repass Gooseback. We're going to stay here. What can Gooseback do? Can Gooseback get back past? He's got the toe, he's got the overspeed. He's not going to though. He's going to sit back and behind. So Gooseback opting to stay behind here at the moment. Deco and Nate's doing a fantastic job. He's got to be watching his mirrors very shortly, as he's got CMP just behind him. We're going to go a bit further forward. As through goes Pyro, Tommy has just served a penalty, I think, and his tyres are shot. Oh, Pyro just about makes the final corner, sliding his way through. Both of these two come into the pit lane. Mo's going to carry on. Gooseback's going to carry on. Gooseback loses a little bit of time here to Mo. CMP up into 6th position. Deco just behind him. It's going to be good for if Deco can try and stay with CMP, get close to the back of Shook. Up in P5. Now Pyro fuels up to 99% fuel. Tommy goes up to 100. Deck's going to go through and carry on for another lap. Auto's come in. Aratakos has a bit of damage to his car. He's going to overtake Auto, who's going to come out onto the mediums, and Bendit not having a great race at the moment, just coming over the bridge, way behind, over nearly 2 minutes behind Auto. But Team Italy dominating at the moment with nearly a 10-second gap to Kyle, who's got himself a half-second penalty. Kyle's got a 10-second gap over Mo, who's slowly opening up the gap to Gooseback. CMP's on the charge at the moment. He's closing in on the back of Shook quite quickly, actually. Sorry, just keeping an eye out in the top corner, looking at the map. We're going to see and watch CMP fly past Shook. Not really much defence offered there by Shook. I think he knows his race is not with CMP. It's probably best just to hook up behind him and try not lose as much time as possible. His tyres are looking a bit dire though. I'm not going to lie to you. Deco not able to stick with CMP for too long. He's not really able to close up to the back of Shook too much. Now Harry comes out in 8th. He's gone onto the medium tyres. Tommy's gone onto medium, so Tommy's doing a soft, medium, hard strategy. Let's go a bit further forward. So we've got a bit of a cackle of cars here. CMP, one of the quickest drivers on track at the moment. Starting to carve his way through this field. Let's go back a couple of cars. What's going on back here? Ooh, Jack scrapes the barrier. Coming out onto the exit on the bridge. He's running out of fuel as well, so he has to come in this lap. Oshkos doesn't use that much exit curb, whereas Auto does use a lot more exit curb. And then Bendit slowly closing in the gap, actually. He's pulled in about 20 seconds. He had pulled in 20 seconds. He's going to lose a few there. Now, Ascendro's staying out. Kyle staying out. Mo elects to come in at the end of 6. Gooseback stays out. CMP's just behind him. Gooseback finds a load of extra speed from somewhere. I think he's trying to get his battery back up. Now Mo comes in. Shook comes in too. Tommy's going to go through and go past. So is Pyro. So what tyres are we going to see come out on Team America today? It's going... Deck also comes in. Mo's going on to the hards. What's Shook going to come out onto? He's going to go out onto the hards too. Let's go forward a few cars. Tommy's got himself a half-second penalty. It's going to impact his chances a little bit. Mo just about getting that car to rotate around Gooseback. Still sticking to the wheel tracks of CMP, actually. He's still doing very well. His tyres look very good for being 7 laps old. Now CMP closing that gap at 306.2 was that last lap around, with a 308.3 from Alessandro. So 2 seconds last lap, brilliant give or take. CMP pulled in to P1. Oh no, Kyle's gone off. He's got front right suspension damage, so at the end of the back straight, Kyle's gone off. It's lost him a load more time. Let's see how much time it's cost him. About 6-7 seconds that's just cost him. So CMP can now see Kyle a bit further down the road. Pyro, the organiser of this event, in 6th position at the moment, doing very well. He's made a big turnaround and a big change of popular sort of opinion. He's not been crashing too much. He's not really crashed that much even at all last season, so he's had a very, very strong last season in the Citroen. They stayed in the top couple of cars. I think he managed to get second in the end overall. In Citroen as well, he managed to fight for the constructors. I don't think they were able to get the constructors, which is a bit unfortunate. It was really turned things around. Actually started to learn how to drive, which is good to hear. Oh no, Carl's ran out of fuel. As Alessandro comes into the pits, Carl has ran out of fuel on the end, coming up to the end of lap 7. This is going to cost him big time. Through goes Gooseback. Here comes Deco. CMP is going to go through for second position. He's going to take the lead in this race. Carl's still not hit the final corner yet. I'm not even going to try and listen to the comments because my comment section just does not want to work tonight. Where's the stream on my phone? Let's get it out. So, Alessandro comes out. Oh no, Bendit's left. And so Bendit, having started this race, got 7 laps in, has decided that enough is enough. So Deck, excuse me. Maid of honour on both for Pyro. Yes. It was on the same tyre. Just behind is Auto. Deco, having made his stop, is in 8th position. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep an eye on what's going on in Discord as well. It's Patreon member stuff. So Shook's in 9th position. Kyle, having come into the pits, has cost him a lot of positions. He's all the way down in 10th now. He's got a lot of time to make up. He's going to be a little bit careful with his fuel usage as well, so he doesn't want to repeat again. Dex in 11th, and the Rochkos is bringing up the rear. He's onto his soft tyres now as well. So everyone's at least made their second stop. But CMP's in 1st position. He's opened up a 10-second gap to Alessandro in P2. So it is a straight fight at the moment between Italy and Ireland/Wales. Pyro and Tommy could be having a fight for 3rd. Let's see how their strategy works out and see what sort of happens over the next 10 laps or so, 9-10 laps or so. A lot can happen in 9 or 10 laps. Now Mo has managed to open up that gap to Gooseback. Gooseback is strong. Oh, it's losing a bit of time, excuse me, to Auto, is just behind him. Deco's in 8th, sort of in no man's land at the moment. Shook is in 9th. He's losing in about a 10th of corner, or a couple of tenths of corner I should say, to Carl, who's in 10th position at the moment, trying to make up time from his mistake as he scrapes the barrier onto the bridge. Let's go forward a few more cars. Oh no, Auto has a massive snap of oversteers. We just caught the tail end of that. He's got front bumper and suspension damage. He could lose a lot of time here to Scotty. Oh, Deco, excuse me, not Scotty. Let's see what Scotty can do. He sees Auto now. Can he creep into that slipstream? I don't think he can. He is gaining corner by corner though. This is where he's going to gain a lot of time though, because that front left suspension damage is just about gone now. So he's gained a little bit. He's not quite in slipstream range yet. We're going to go forward a little bit. Gooseback seems to be stronger in the second half of this course, and Mo seems to be quite strong in the first part of this course. So the battle for 5ths on is just getting there. Auto sliding the rear of that car around every corner. He's just about managed to opening up that gap. It fluctuates here and there. Auto ultimately opening up that gap just little by little. Let's go forward a little bit more. Thank you, Tommy. Perfect timing. Tommy backs it onto the back straight. He's losing time, and he's losing a little bit more time each corner to Pyro, who's up in third. Now that gap up ahead. That gap ahead is opening little by little. Last time I checked on it, it was 10 seconds. Now it's 12 and a half. So Alessandro doing all he can. Pyro having a little bit of a slide as we come onto the bridge. Tommy having a very, very efficient corner, that's for certain. Then 20 seconds behind him is Gooseback. Oh dear, what's happened to Mo? Oh no, Mo's had a bit of a moment. It's a shame I can't go back and watch that. So Mo has lost out a couple of positions. He's lost that position to Gooseback, Auto and Deco. So down into 8th position. I have to start keeping an eye on my mini-map a little bit more. Shook losing a little bit of time now to Mo. As all these guys back, all their batteries are now very much and very well depleted. Auto a little bit wide, but he's going to get them a bit of a better second part of the corner. If he can get that car tamed and not understeer too much, he just about manages to do that. Just about keeps the car on track as he loses the rear completely. Trail breaks into the corner. Around goes Auto, so Auto's going to crash out on the penultimate corner. He's going to rejoin just behind Shook at the moment. Can Kyle try and scoop up a position? He's a bit too far back to try and scoop up any positions at the moment. So Auto losing the rear of the car, going into the penultimate corner. And around it goes into the barrier. So this promotes Shook and Mo up a position apiece. Now Deco is closing in on the back of Gooseback. Gooseback's in 5th position at the moment. Mediums versus hards. As I said, and as we've seen, there's not that much difference between them. Deco really closing in on the back of the Saudi Arabian team. Just going to check around. Nope, nothing else is going on. Deco very much stronger on the brakes as he closes that gap right up almost to the touching point as we come into this very, very twisty section before we get onto the back straights. Two very critical corners now coming up. Gooseback's job is going to be to try and open up that gap. Deco's job is going to be to try and keep that gap as close as possible. Both go over the dip. Both get it nicely. Gooseback has had done a very good job. Managed to break the toe, excuse me. Opened up that gap all the way up to nearly a second. He's done a fantastic job of breaking the toe. Carried that momentum all the way up to almost 1.3 seconds down the back straight. So Deco's work has all been undone down one straight. He's going to have to redo all that work all over again. I want to see how Gooseback actually does it. I think he just prioritises exit and gets a little bit more battery charge than a lot of other people. So he seems to pull out really good corner exit and cornering speed when it matters, which is really good in his position because he can hold up a few cars that way. Just let him get in the slipstream in the dirty air through the corners, and then when it really matters, just fire it out. This is where Deco's going to start closing in. This is where Deco's going to close in now. This is a tiny little... What do you mean, whoops? You paid F for your respects for someone. I don't know who, but you're paying respect to somebody. Gooseback didn't get the exit speed that he wanted on the time of the matter, so past through goes Deco. A little bit more momentum and a lot more speed, but can Deco get it stopped? Just about gets the car stopped. Almost missed, well, completely misses the apex, nearly slams into the back walls. We're going to start lap 11 of 17. We're going to stay here actually just for a moment. No, Gooseback decides to stay behind. So Gooseback doesn't want to send it up the inside. Interesting. So let's have a look through the rest of the grid at the moment. So CMP still leading the way. He's opening that gap up. It's 15.7 at the moment to Alcindor, who's in second position. Doing a fantastic job, even on the hard tyres at the moment. We then got Pyro in third, 10 seconds behind P2 and opening up that gap to P4, who's Tommy at the moment. Doing a great job considering he's tier 4 and he's fighting with tier 1 and tier 2 guys. It's a fantastic job done by Tommy. In P5 we've got Deco, who's recently passed Gooseback, who's been in P6. We then got Mo representing Team USA in 7th. Shook, who's in 8th position. Auto's in 9th, closing in on the back of Shook at the moment. We then got Kyle in 10th, who's losing time to Auto at the moment. We then got Deck, who's in 11th. And then we got Eroticos filling in kind of last minute here in 12th position. Still doing great. It'd be great to see if Eroticos can pull something out the bag a little bit later. I hope he can. Just to sort of spice things up a bit. That's the different type of spice things up I was referring to. Alright, but that works. We're going to go a bit further forward though. Now CMP's going to have to come in this lap. Looking at that fuel gauge, it is very low. I don't think he wants to come in. I think he wants to stay out on the tyres he's got, but he has to come in. Now, is he going to try and go to the end on soft? So we're going to jump on board with Alcindor. We're going to see where he comes out. He's got another lap or two worth of fuel in the fuel tank. Take a swig of drink whilst I can. Alcindor 4-wheel drifts in the final corner. That's lost him a little bit of time. But Pyro closing in that gap to the top two. Alcindor goes up into P1 at the moment. Where does Pyro come through? Does Tommy manage to get him as well? No, out comes CMP. He's on the soft tyres, so that's his stop done. Tommy has closed the gap up. CMP has a 14.5 second gap to Alcindor's, and CMP's on the softs, so that gap is going to rapidly close. So I think it's going to be CMP's race to lose at the moment. Gooseback comes in. Let's see who else comes in. Shock and Auto are a little bit closer together now. Shock scrapes the final corner wall on the exit. This is going to lose a little bit of momentum as we come down the back straight, or main straight, excuse me. Oh, Shook goes a bit wide, loses the rear on entry, which has shrunk that gap almost down to nothing as these two scribble and squabble around for positions. Auto goes through, nearly loses the car in process, and these two are still struggling to get the rear of their car tamed. Auto all over the place, which is allowing Shook to get right back up close again. As Shook is power sliding his way out of corners, trying to get the power down, trying to get some extra speed. Gooseback comes out in 10th position at the moment. I believe that might have been his final stop. I think Eroticos, Deck and Eroticos have both come in for their final stops, I believe, as well. Deck has only come in for fuel, whereas Eroticos has carried on for fuel and tyres. Shook lights up those rear tyres again. So Shook very much a person of full power, following the Jeremy Clarkson approach to driving the Ferraris here. He's just gone outside the toe of Rottikos, so he's not been able to get the final couple of corner speeds that he's been after. Let's go forward a couple of corners. As we see Mo nearly stack it into the wall. Very well recovered, very well held, may I just say. Deco, that was 7-8 seconds up the road, in 5th position at the moment. Tommy in 4th position, 22 seconds between Deco and Tommy. That's pretty much a full pit stop. So Tommy's going to have to come in this lap. He's pretty much got that all settled off and covered. CMP managed to claw back 2 seconds this lap alone. We're not even at the end of the lap yet. He's closing in on the back of Pyro. Alessandro comes in. He's going to try and cover off CMP as much as he can. I don't think he's going to have enough time to cover off CMP. Here's CMP now, coming around the last corner. Pyro comes in too. I've just spotted that these two they were close together. They're not close together anymore. What does Tommy do? Tommy's going to come in to pit as well. He's just coming in as he's running out of fuel. So CMP is going to take the lead at the moment. He's just got to keep the car on the black stuff between the white lines. Alessandro comes out on the softs for his final stop. He's 17, 18 seconds behind CMP. So CMP has done an absolute monumental job here this evening. He's just got to manage that gap, nothing else. As Pyro gets the corner a little bit wrong, he's got a Deco behind him for company. As Tommy comes out with the pits in 6th position, just behind Mo. So you go back to these two. So Mo's still yet to stop. He's going to be coming in this lap or the next. So Tommy could have fought for 3rd. I think he might have to settle for 4th. He's on the hard tyres, which still is not a bad tyre on this car. It's quite grippy actually for a tyre. We're going to go a bit further forward. Deco closing in on the back of Pyro at the moment. I think Deco's got a little bit more extra battery because he closed that gap quite rapidly. Pyro opens up the gap mid-corners, but I think Deco's trying to open that battery up just a little bit more, get a little bit more power, as he's going to need it here. He's going to close that gap up just little by little. Can he get the corner he's after? I think Pyro's just done too good of a job. Fresh soft tyres helps. Mind you, the second half of that corner has gone to Deco's way, so this could be interesting. It's not quite close enough to get into that slipstream. So Pyro's going to take 3rd position at the moment. That gap's still staying about 17 to 17.5 between CMP and Alessandro. Mo has got Tommy for company. The two TBG boys on track at the same time, eSports teammates. And well, we're not in the eSports, it's now going to be a 4th position, I think, here. I don't think Mo's going to hold him up too much because I don't think it's going to be advisable for him. If Tommy can get the car around the corner squarely, that'll be it. So Tommy loses a little bit of time out to Mo. A little bit too eager over the curb. We're going to touch back on these two in a moment. Carl's in 7th position after running out. There is another lobby. There is lobby A. This is lobby B. I'm covering lobby B. I don't think anyone's covering lobby A this evening. If I end up doing Nations Cup next week, which I probably might, I might cover the other lobby, so I'll alternate between. We then got Shook in 8th position. Goose back in 9th. Haven't done his stop, so he might make a position or two up here. We then got Auto in 10th, a bit of a lonely 10th. Deck in 11th with a Roscos for company just behind him in 12th. Deco's come into the pit lane. Catch up on all the pings from Discord later. That gap has shrunk a little bit. Alessandro closed that gap just a little. He's taken about a second out of CMP that last lap. He's got about 3 or 4 laps to try and close 16 seconds. I don't think Alessandro is going to do it unless CMP has a catastrophic mistake. Pyro is in third and a very comfortable third. Tommy's in fourth. Oh no! Mo has run out of fuel. Past the pit lane, so Mo. Oh no, Team USA have got this all sorts of wrong. Mo has used way too much fuel. He's going to have to go around the entire track at this speed. He's going to lose out on so many positions. Mo is going to be absolutely furious with himself. So, Team USA not got their fuel right, not managed that fuel quite right this evening, and has to do the entire lap with no fuel. So this is going to promote everybody up. Kyle, I thought Kyle made a catastrophic mistake, but this is even better. So sorry Spin, I've just seen your message. So Mo was doing so well. He's going to fall back even behind these guys who have not had a great race at all. I'm sorry, but that is quite funny. Right, let's stay. Out of all the oil fields you guys have at your disposal, how did you guys run out of fuel? Oh, Roticos gets that a little bit wrong. Back and down goes Mo. So Mo's going to have to... I wonder, is CMP going to lap? CMP's going to lap him. CMP's opened up that gap to Alessandro as well. Oh, Articars has got a great exit. He's got a good run on deck. Let's see what can happen today. Deck defends the inside, tries to break the toe. Articars doesn't quite get all the way into the toe. Does he make a lunge going into this sequence of corner? He has a little go. They both get the cars stopped. Deck gets a very, very nice sweeping corner, but he's got himself a half-second penalty, whereas the Rotkos was a little bit too cautious going through there. So Rotkos' job is going to now to be to try and close that gap up to the back of Deck. Deck's got enough fuel to go to the end. I'm not sure if he's going to have to tire to go to the end, though. Unless he's going to come in and go for the softs. Poor Mo. Well, at least the scenery's nice and lovely. At least it's nice weather on the edges. CMP with Team Ireland manages to count how much fuel they have. Has got it right.
What a dummy.
I can imagine you're going to be saying some words to him, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm going to be laughing at him later on as well. So CMP opening up that gap to about 18 seconds, so he's not hanging around. He's not going to be lifting off, that's for certain. Pyro's in second. A very, very lonely second. Everyone's starting to open up the gaps at the moment. Tommy's in fourth. Pyro's not in second. Pyro's in third, excuse me. Tommy's in fourth. Deco is in fifth with Goose back in sixth. Carl's in seventh. Rotkos is eighth. Shook's ninth. Auto's 8th, Shook's 9th. Eroticos is actually in 10th. I need to get my mouth and my words in the correct jumble and order. Deck, who has had himself a half-second penalty and has found the wall, is in 11th. Where is he? There he is. He's on. Here comes CMP. CMP is going to go flying past Mo. Mo has now officially been lapped, as he sets a lap record pace going over this bridge. He's going to have to brake really, really early for this next couple of corners. Mo.
Made it back yet.
No, he hasn't made it back yet. Mo's being an absolute madman, setting lap record pace and lap record speeds over the over the bridge. Still hasn't braked for the corner at all. Through goes Alessandro. I'm trying to find a battle, but there is literally no battles. I'm just gonna have to watch Mo get past, because that's the only that's the most entertaining thing I can find at the moment. It's gonna be so great when Tommy passes him as well. So Deck and Eroticos closing up on each other. I wonder if Eroticos has either had a mistake or is lifting off just a little bit so they can have a straight fight. Then we get to Tommy. There's a cracking little shot there of Tommy having a little power slide. As coming to the penultimate corner comes Tommy. He's going to lap his eSports teammate on the back straight. Is he going to help him? He's not going to help him. How rude. Tommy is not going to help his eSports teammate. That is appalling teammate. I wouldn't employ him for a teammate at all. Deck and Eroticos are having still at it, still having their own little battle for 10th position. Mo is only just coming around the last corner. Has spent 6 minutes, nearly 7 minutes going around this circuit. That is insane. Sorry, let's come back here. Deck gets a much better exit as we come over the bridge. Eroticos on the outside, Deck's on the inside. Can Eroticos get the switch back? No, he's going to slide it through. Mo is going to be kicking himself so hard, that is for certain. Deck goes very well.
You've been lapped.
Yeah, I mean, he probably should at this rate. Deck gets a little bit sideways through there's a couple of sequence of corners. Eroticos gets a much better run. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Who's going to get the car stopped? Neither of them are going to get the car stopped as they both slam into the wall completely sideways. Eroticos only has front bumper and suspension. Deck has front and rear bumper damage. Mo's out on the softs. He's not happy. It's taken him 7 minutes to do that lap. Can I just point out how he's been lapped up to 9th position? If these two hadn't been fighting so hard, they could have lapped him as well. That is insane. Team USA has gotten that very wrong this evening. So, CMP very much in control of this race at the moment. Nearly a 19 second gap to Alessandro, who's in second position. He's tried his absolute best to take the fight to CMP, but it's not going to work, I don't think, this evening. Pyro's in third. We're going to go up to these two because these two are still at it. They're the closest cars on track at the moment. I kind of want to get Mo into a call and see if I can get him to talk me through it, but I don't think he's going to A, see it, and B, I don't think he's going to be wanting to do that. Spin, if you're in a call with him, would you mind asking him? So I think I kind of want to know. Let's go back through. So, Eroticos opening up that gap to Deck at the moment. Deck's tyres are looking very much worse for wear. Both these two cars have very much been through the walls and the wars. Both these two have had a very, very rough race, I think. I think there's a driver here who's had an even rougher race at the moment. He's still gone into the wall somehow. But CMP, we're going to join him part of the way around the final lap, I think. Just trying to see if there's anyone else that's actually close to each other. I don't think there is. We're going to stay... No, where CMP is now. Oh, Deck goes off into the barrier, scrapes his way through the barrier. Those tyres are very much done. And he's still going to keep going, though. Can't even make the... Oh, he just about keeps the car out of the wall on the penultimate corner as well. Poor Mo. Poor Mo. People are going to be talking about this one, I think, for a little while. Especially those who have seen this stream. How... Oh, poor Mo. But we're going to jump on board with CMP. A driver who started in pole position. Had a little bit of a fight with Alcendro for a few laps. Done something a little bit different from everybody else. Started on the slightly harder compound. And as soon as he got into those mediums, started opening up that gap. Started really closing in the gap to Alcendro as well. Has not put a single foot wrong this entire race for 17 laps. We're nearly an hour's race and he's not put a single foot wrong. Lapped it very, very consistently. CMP's going to come around the final corner for Team Ireland and Wales, and it's going to take victory here at day one in Lobby B. CMP's going to take victory and win day one. Alcendro comes to the final corner for the last time. He's given it absolutely everything tonight, tried his absolute best to try and close up that gap to CMP, but CMP was just too mighty tonight. So Alcendro for Team Italy is going to come over the line for second position. Pyro, a driver that I will admit, I was a bit sceptical if Team England would do well, but hush my mouth, Pyro has turned a new leaf. He has completely changed his driving style. He's going to take third for Team England. Tommy, the big shock, in my opinion. Timed that horn to absolute perfection. It's going to come around the corner for the last time. Tommy is going to come over the line for fourth position, and a very, very pleased driver that is for Team North Ireland. Deco for Scotland is going to get fifth. So there's your top five.
Yeah, Tommy. TBG.
At least one TBG driver can drive this evening. Gooseback comes over the line for sixth. Has had a bit of big fight with Mo throughout the race. He's going to take sixth position. Kyle's going to finish in seventh after making a bit of a mistake with fuel. I'm going to say a little mistake with fuel. Auto scraping the wall on the final time. He's going to come over this finish line to finish in the eighth position. Shock's going to come over for ninth. Good race done by these two. We're going to come back to Mo in a minute. Oh, there's Jack has a bit of a tank slapper. Orotko's stepping in at the last minute to take over from his teammate who has had internet issues. Orotko's, I'm not going to lie to you, I was kind of hoping Orotko's would try and take the fight up to the mid-pack, but with very limited practice and little time to get the car together, there's not even a livery on it, which tells me he bought it about a minute before the race started. He has done so well considering his position. Scrapes the wall for the final time, but he doesn't care. He's done it. He's going to round off 10th position. Deck, who's ran out of fuel in the last lap, is going to come over the line for 11th position for the rest of the world. But the driver that has completely thrown it, in my opinion, ran out of fuel on the start finish line, who just went past the pits, is Mo. And for Team USA, that's going to be not the start the Team USA wanted nor needed, as Deck comes over the line for 11th, and then Mo gets 12th position. Nope, that one, there we go. So there we go. there we have it. There is day 1 of Nations Cup. I hope everyone has enjoyed. This has been Lobby Beat. Bendit didn't even sort of finish the race. He bailed out of it. I think it was lap 7 or lap 8 in the end. So Bendit's going to take up the rear officially on the standings. I hope everyone has enjoyed. I hope everyone's had a great time. Spin's not come back to me, so unfortunately I will have to get Mo in at another period of time if I can. Take care, everybody, and we will see you all very soon.